Hello everyone, Namaskar. My name is Monjima Shorkar and this is a small tutorial video. This is more or less an overview of what I'm going to teach in my course. I'll give you some basic ideas and how my course is going to be a little bit different from the conventional courses you may take up for your classical dance training. Professionally, I am an Odissi dancer. I am the recipient of CCRT Junior Scholarship and also the recipient of Nritya Shri Award, Odissi Shri Award. I want to deconstruct some conventional forms and want to implement them in our contemporary times. But before you start experimenting with your traditional dance form, it is of utmost importance that you know and you understand the traditional aspect of this dance form. The syllabus of my course is simple but interesting. I'm not going to explore too many technical terms and I will not delve into too many complicated concepts of Odissi because that wouldn't be possible for somebody who is taking up a course for the first time, a classical dance course for the first time, because it takes years and years of practice and training to understand those technicalities and those complications. So the syllabus that I am offering for my course is somewhat like this. I will start with the basic steppings, which includes chauka and tribhangi, and I will give you an overview of Taal and how Taal is intricately important and involved in this classical dance form. How without the presence of Taal, Odissi cannot exist on its own. Right? The second thing that I'm going to cover is Abhinaya. Okay? Because dance does not have life without emotions. You have to juxtapose emotions and mix them in proper proportions to make them palatable to your audience. And how can you do that? By being expressive, right? So it is equally important that you know the importance of Abhinaya in a classical dance form. Are the expressions exaggerated or they are implemented in right proportions? Well, that is a question we will try to answer in this course. Another thing that I'm going to explore are hasta mudras or hand gestures. Even if you are not a trained dancer, you must be knowing the importance of mudras in any dance form. The very reason why we do not have the opportunity to express ourselves through verbal words, right? Through verbios or through words, through phrases, through letters. We do not have that opportunity. So what do we rely upon? Gestures. And how can we communicate those gestures? Through mudras, right? So we will be learning the basic hasta mudras or hand gestures according to Natya Shastra. And another thing that I want to experiment is their applications in today's world, right? Because, say for example, I want to show Krishna traveling from one place to another by say a transport called Rath, right? Ratha Yatra. So of course I can show the horses like this. They are moving, right? And Krishna is holding his bansuri and he is moving in the rath. But tell me one thing, does that have any significance, any implication in today's world? Do you travel by rath? No, right? You have modern day vehicles, you have cars. So we will try to explore the improvisation or the modification of these mudras. How can we make mudras relevant in today's world? Finally, the most interesting aspect of my course is impromptu choreography. I will keep separate sessions where you, being my student, will get the opportunity to choreograph your own pieces. Because I will explain you the basics of Taal, I will explain you the basics of Abhinaya and Mudras, and of course steppings. So I will see how you can combine all the things that you have learned and managed to come up with a unique choreography of your own. I will give you situations and you have to enact those situations through this dance form. So far as experimentation is concerned, I think by now you have got an idea that I am somebody who does not like to confine herself within the threshold of conventional or didactic preachings of dance form. I rather prefer breaking free, and I encourage my students to break free. But of course, experimentation doesn't mean you can distort a dance form. So that is something you need to keep in mind. You have the freedom to experiment, but at the same time you will adhere to all the basics of Odissi, right? That is the only condition from my end. So I think the syllabus is quite interesting for you to grasp, and the classes will be fun. That is something I can guarantee. So before I show you some basics of Odissi, I will give you a quick overview or the historical background of this dance form. So I'm reading from my script, as you will understand, because I do not prefer memorizing a script and reading it out. If you have any doubt, of course I will explain, but I do not believe in memorizing stuff like that. So Odissi is the temple dance form from the eastern state of Odisha, and it's very simple to remember because Odissi comes from Odisha, right? This lyrical and sensuous dance brings to life the sculptures adorning the walls of the Sun Temple at Konark and the Jagannath Temple at Puri. So If you have ever visited Puri, and if you have ever visited Jagannath Temple and the Sun Temple at Konark, you must have seen the beautiful sensuous sculptures. Those temple sculptures resemble the sensuous postures of Odissi. Despite being an ancient classical dance form, Odissi is extremely modern in various aspects. How? Well, you have an entire course to take up and know that. But yes, despite being one of the ancient dance forms, Odissi is very modern. And if you learn its technicalities, if you learn the various postures, mudras, expressions, items of Odissi, you will know how different this dance form is, how visually appealing this dance form is, right? Odissi draws heavily from the Gotipua and the Mahari dance tradition. So Gotipua is a dance tradition where only young boys were allowed to perform and present a dance recital. Women were not allowed. So they used to dress up like women and they performed. Mahari tradition is something that you can very much relate to the Devdasi tradition. A woman who devotes herself to the Almighty and she dances according to His wishes. He devotes her heart and soul to Him. She does not present her performances in front of the audience. She stays indoors and performs for the Almighty. She believes that she is married to her God and hence she avoids any public demonstration of her dance performances. So she is not a performing artist, she is somebody who has devoted herself to her God. So these are the two pillars of the classical dance form Odissi. And the history is really interesting. We will discuss about them. We will try to analyze them, not just remembering dates and names, but understanding the essence of the history of this dance form. That's what we are going to do here. The dancing girls or Maharis dedicated their lives to the worship of Lord Jagannath, as I have explained. They performed this sacred art in the sanctity of the temples. The dance was brought out into the public by young boys, Gotipua. Gotipuas who were dressed in female attire. Lack of funds and prestige meant that the dancers fell into disrepute. It was only in the 1950s that there was a massive undertaking by scholars and revivalist gurus to reconstruct Odissi. So Odissi was banned. Odissi was not practiced for several years, decades, and finally in the 1950s some revivalist gurus decided to reconstruct this beautiful, sacred dance form. This is the basic outline or the overview of this classical dance form. Now, I will show you a few things which are integral and essential to learn about Odissi. Number one is Bhoomi Pranam. You are sending your offerings to the god, to Lord Jagannath, and then you're beginning to perform. So this is a ritual, this is a tradition that dancers have followed through decades. And that is something I'm going to show you here. Give me a second. Okay. All right. So, as I promised, I will show you Bhoomi Pranam. Ta, I, thi, na, ka, dhi, ni, ta, I, thi, na, ka, dhi, ni, ta. If you are a beginner, you must be wondering, what was she saying? It was Taal Ekatali. Ta, I, thi, na, ka, dhi, ni, ta. Taal Ekatali is one of the common talas which we use to compose any Odissi item. It has 4 matras, and we will do the steppings. We will learn chauka steppings and tribhangi steppings following this tal. Alright? And as you observed, Bhoomi Pranam is a way through which you express your gratitude and you seek blessings from Lord Jagannath before you begin your performance. Now the first thing that we are going to learn, I'll just show you 2 chauka steppings. Alright? So the first thing is chauka. Odissi is very geometrical. Alright? So the name is very self-explanatory. Chauka means a square. Alright? So I'll show you how we can attain that posture. Watch me. This is Samapada. We will learn the Pada Vedas in between the classes. You are making a V. You are stretching it, keeping a gap. It's a half sitting posture. Just see how we are attaining the chauka posture. So the first stepping is just a simple jump. Ta, I, thi, na, ka, dhi, ni, ta. I, thi, na, ka, dhi, ni, ta. I, thi, na, ka, dhi, ni, ta. ithi nakadini ta, ithi nakadini ta, ithi nakadini ta, ithi nakadini ta, ithi nakadini ta. So what is important here is holding your breath and maintaining the posture. What are the common errors we may commit? We can distort the posture. We can do like this. We can loosen our hands, right? Or we can stand like ta, iti. It's not visually appealing anymore. So when you are learning a classical dance form, remember, maintaining the posture is very important, right? The second stepping that I'm going to show you in today's class is Shoka stepping number 2. Ta, I, thi, na, ka, dhi, ni, ta. 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 This is stepping number 2. Now the next posture is Tribhangi. Why Tribhangi? Again, the name is self-explanatory. It has 3 bhangas or bhangis, 3 bendings or 3 curves, right? If you look at it carefully, it resembles an S. Let me show you. This is a Tribhangi. My head is tilted like this, right? My chest is shifting to its right and my hip is extended like this. So it's an S. It's like an S, right? So the first stepping, ta, I, thi, na, ka, dhi, ni, ta. 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 I, thi, ta. All right? This is stepping number 1. Tribhangi stepping number 1. Stepping number 2. Ta, I, thi, na, ka, dhi, ni, ta. I, thi, na, ka, dhi, ni, ta. I, thi, na, ka, dhi, ni, ta. I, thi, na, ka, dhi, ta. I, thi, na, ka, dhi, ni, 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 ta. Just give me a sec. Yeah. I increased the speed of the Taal. How and why? We will explore that in the course. As of now, I will conclude this video by ensuring you that you are going to have fun in my class, right? And we are going to learn a lot of new techniques that are associated with this classical dance form. I have demonstrated the 2 variations of postures. One is Choka, the second one is Tribhangi. I have shown 2 steppings for each of these postures. And I have discussed briefly about the historical background of Odissi. And of course, I had a detailed discussion about my syllabus. So see you in my regular classes. Till then, take care, stay safe, wear masks and use sanitizers. Bye-bye.